Vanessa Joy here, and I'm going to show you how to shoot a wedding ceremony. This video is sponsored by Fundy. So I'm just going to walk you through step by step the types of shots that I want to get, where I stand, and we're doing this all in natural light because in my experience, if you're shooting in a church, you really don't get to set up flashes. At least the ones I've shot in over the years, they don't let you. And then if you're outside, you might not be able to use them at all, or maybe you don't even have them. So we're gonna deal with this crappy spotty light that you see happening right here, and I'm gonna show you how I shoot. All right, so you're gonna walk down the aisle. Don't look at me. This is your man. You look at him, and then go ahead and start walking down the aisle. Beautiful, nice, so cute. All right, and you can see right there were some bright spots, but you know what? There's a reason I shoot in RAW. Last thing I'm gonna do is futz with my settings while I got a bride walking down the aisle. Not happening. All right, from here, it's really important that you back up. If she does have somebody walking her down the aisle, that's where you would photograph the kiss or the veil coming over her face. But other than that, they're gonna look towards each other. She would actually hand off her flowers to her maid of honor that happened to be right next to her. And then you guys are gonna hold hands. This is where the officiant starts, and this is also usually the best smile I get on the groom. So I'm gonna go ahead and photograph the groom right then and there. Perfect. I'm gonna do a wide from here, and then I'm also gonna make sure I vary horizontal as well as vertical. I like getting some of the officiant right now because the officiant's smiling at them and telling them nice things. And then usually I can't go past this point. So from here, I'm gonna turn and start photographing some of the reactions. I don't have any real guests here, so we'll just photograph, I don't know, these flowers, which is also nice. So I'll photograph like the parents sitting there, I'll photograph the parents sitting there and the bridesmaids there, and I'll work my way back down, photographing guests as I walk down the aisle. Jumping in here to give you a little sneak peek at what we're doing for the album design, because of course, if you are a wedding photographer, one of the main things you want to think about is the final product. Now for me, I am big on wedding albums. I think it's the best way that you can show off all the moments of the day in a really well-preserved book. And for designing, I am using Fundy Designer Suite. That is hands down the easiest, fastest. I mean, it literally designs for you, not just albums, but things like thank you cards, save the dates, wall art slideshows, so much more. It's the go-to in the wedding industry. But some of the things I'm looking to make sure I alternate some black and white spreads. Every once in a while, I'll even checkerboard them on a full spread. I want to make sure that I'm telling the story, giving a moment for walking down the aisle, a moment for the rings, for parts of the ceremony, of course, having a big spread in the center there showing the entire ceremony space and, you know, ideally all the guests that are there that are not there in this styled shoot setup that I have for you here. But you just want to make sure that you tell every part of the day, especially the kiss, which in this case was a high five because they're models, they're not kissing. But it's really easy to do with Fundy because you can just drag and drop. You can take photos that are color and really easily turn them into black and white. You can swap designs, look at all their pre-template designs, or design your own. And of course, being able to do it just automatically laying everything out for you with every photo that you put in there, it's just gold. It makes this process so seamless, so easy. If you've never used Fundy before, make sure you give them a try. There is a free trial, and if you decide you love it, like I know you will, and use the code VanessaJoy30, it's going to give you 30% off, which is a big discount you won't find anywhere else. Anyway, back to how I photograph a wedding ceremony. I can get one right here, no problem, with the lens I have on. So after that, the next thing I'm gonna do is take this lens off and I'm gonna go to my 135. So from here, I've got my 135 on, and this is where I start to have just a little bit of fun. And they're looking at each other. I'm gonna get some horizontal and vertical shots here. Make sure we get those, and then I'm gonna start rotating around the other side. And as I go around the other side, I'm gonna back up and I'm gonna photograph all the different guests here. Make sure I'm getting their reactions, little kids, people doing stuff, until I get to there, and now I've got my bride side. Remember, I already got that groom side before? Now I can get a nice shot of the bride smiling. I can also go back to my officiant, Maybe get details if they're holding a book. And then again, remembering to do horizontal and vertical. All right, so I'll stay here for a little bit. From here, they're probably done with their vows, and I'm gonna go back towards the middle again. And this is where the fun comes in. And it's also, you could also do this while you're on the sides, depending how big the church is. But because this camera is a 45 megapixel camera, so right now I'm in full, but if I go into 1.6, beep, it's a digital zoom, and look how much closer I am. Now, she's so cute. Now I need to make sure that I'm super still because I've digitally zoomed. This is now about an 18 megabyte file versus that 45 megapixel file. And the nice thing about this is they're about to do the ring exchange. So now I've got a nice close-up on the ring exchange, and then I can pop back out and get the full length of the ring exchange this way. So just a little trick. If I did not have a 45 megapixel camera, I probably wouldn't do that. But because I do, this allows me to not have a 70-200 lens. Instead, I've got what's basically an equivalent of a 202 millimeter lens at f2, which is way better than a 70-200 at 2.8, and not to mention, this thing is a heck of a lot lighter than that 70-200. From here, I'm gonna want to switch back to my big one, the 28-70. All right, this is now where all the action starts happening. We're gonna do the walkout and the kiss, and this is where a lot of us panic, but here's how you set yourself up. I'm gonna set myself up to 200th of a second. That's gonna be good for the fact that that kiss might be fast and the fact that they might run back down the aisle. I'm still an AI servo, so I'm going to eye follow and track them, and it's gonna be great with this camera. I am going to up my aperture to about 2.5, 2.8, sometimes 3.2, just depending on the lighting scenario that I have and how high I want to go on my ISO. For the kiss, I tend to like a vertical photo better, personally. You guys are gonna high five instead of kiss because, yeah, we don't do that to models. All right, so what I'm gonna do, before you high five, I tend to focus on the groom because he's got that point of contrast. That's kind of what I'm used to, and you don't really have a clear eye because they're facing each other and they're also gonna close their eyes. So I focus on the groom, and then if you want to, and I don't do this, but you could set your shutter to more of a, not your shutter, but your drive to more of high speed, continuous shooting versus one shot. I don't do that. All right, ready and high five. Good. So I tend to just take a few pictures right in a row. And then you guys are going to grab your flowers because your maid of honor gave them back to you. And then you're gonna hook arms. That's it. Stay there for a second. Now I pronounce you blah, 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 perfect. And then walk towards me. Cute. And then, oh, that was a horrible shot, but you know what? They're fine right here. And then I walk back with them. I zoom in for some, I zoom out for some, and then I tell them to high five here one more time. Yes. Awesome. We're not done. You guys are done, but we're not done. Keep walking that way. What I usually try to snag is a shot of them holding hands, walking out the door. You're not gonna actually walk out the door, but walk towards it. It's usually a silhouette. It's just a fun shot that you can get as they walk out. But then you've got to turn around and get all the bridal party walking out. Don't forget this. This is some of the best shots you get at a bridal party, as well as the parents of both sides of the couple. So turn around, get those same shots of everybody else walking back. All the key players, I promise you your clients are gonna love you for it. So that is it. That is how you shoot a wedding ceremony. Make sure you hit subscribe here on YouTube. If you're not a wedding photographer, don't worry, I've got lots of stuff on lighting and posing and flash and editing and marketing and business, so I hope you stick around.